and try to take your own reference material. For this one, the reference pictures I used were just stuff off the internet. However, I used it because at the final result, you don't see any of it. It's all completely gone. If the photograph was to be part of my painting, then generally I like to use my own photographs, so you don't get into any kind of copyright infringement kind of issues. In this case, there's nothing left of the photos, so they serve their purpose purely for value, not any of the design, composition, or anything else. You see, so continue to paint. These are those kind of walls that this guy kind of built up. So if you haven't watched the other video, I recommend you kind of check it out. It's the design of this thing, so you guys can see it from nothing to this stage. And two of them combined in real time is about 2 hours or so, I think, for the entire image. Maybe less. I think the drawing part was quite quick. So these are just quick indication of light from the table. So this scene has multiple light sources. And working this way also helps the guys who are designing these models, designing the game, know how to light the scene, because they have to do all these as well. So when they build a level, they have to put in all the light sources, and those will help them as well. So for me personally, this stage is not the hardest thing to do. The hardest thing for me is always the design stage, which is what do you draw? Once you have a okay design or something that you like, and something that's new or the clients will like, then it's hard to mess it up. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like if you have a nice car like a Ferrari, it's a cool design, it's a cool car, and if you paint it really, really bad, at the end of the day, it's still a good design. Where the other way around, it doesn't work. Excuse me. You can't take a very broken car or not a very good car and then paint it like a Ferrari with the best, $1,000 per pint paint or something like that. It's not gonna make the car any better, and it's not gonna perform any better. But a Ferrari that's really, really painted ugly and everything, but on the racetrack it's still a Ferrari. So I like to think design the same way. Make your design and your foundations very strong. The rest of it is just eye candy. If you don't make it super nice, it's not gonna really hurt your design, especially if the client's paying for the design side of it. If they're commissioning you for a painting, then that's a whole other story. But my job typically, pretty much 99% of the time, is design focused. These days, most of my stuff is actually just purely rough designs. They just want really quick stuff. Most of my clients just like many designs as possible. That's what they want. They don't even need to be rendered, because so many of these companies have guys internally that are super, super good and extremely good at painting or drawing. But sometimes they what the studios want from me is kind of like an outside point of view of design, bring something I guess different into the team. Because if some of these teams have been working on these projects, excuse me, IP for years, so they kind of tend to get stuck in a certain design queue, I guess. So by bringing a freelance person from the outside in, they might see it from a different point of view. Again, apologize for the cough. This thing has been going on for like 3 weeks now, so hopefully by next week, almost gone. So much better than last week at least. So this painting is starting to take shape. I'm still leaving the line drawing in there because with it gone, the painting will still need about at least an hour or two of work to get all the shapes extracted, because a real painting has no line work, right? A real painting is all separated by value, no line. So in this case, like a half and half. It's got value, but the value is not refined enough to hold the painting. That some of the line drawing you're seeing is actually helping your eye see the actual design. So these are the rafters up there. So in real time right now, if I double this, it'll be about 40 minutes in. I'm looking at the clock right now. It's about 20 something minutes in this video. So if we double that, it would be about 40. Those are the rafters that you can walk across. And the point of this is really done not for a film. This is a painting done with a game in mind. So I'm showing students how you will light up a set if this was a game. Lead the player on. All right, so you know that, okay, the outside's to my right, the inside's to my left. There's upstairs area. There's a little hole in the window up there. There's these kind of boards that signals that maybe a fight could take place. Here I am. You can see the line drawing was turned off just now. So you can see the values are starting to work even without any kind of line work to support it. And that's always a good sign. So if you are painting off of a line drawing, always try to turn it off as quick as you can, because that way you don't let the line drawing distract you. All right, focus on the value. And in this painting, I don't believe I brought in any photo scrap. As far as texturing goes, it's just painted. So for a real painting, it would be really nice to bring in some, or more, not real painting, but a more refined painting. It would be nice to bring in some photo scrap to texture some of this stuff, which you saw on the one with the Transformers robots from about 2-3 weeks ago. Here I'm just pushing the lighting a little bit, more the dodge brush, dangerous brush, but does work quite well in this type of thing. The lights in the back are a little bit blown out now that I look at the video. They should probably be a little bit more desaturated because they're further away from the eye. So that yellow light, especially something yellow in the red zone, these color palettes don't travel far. So they're not going to be as bright. So if I was to go back and fix this painting, I'll probably just desaturate those down. So these are just some dust kind of flow in the air to give it some movement. These places are pretty dirty. There's always wars going on outside or whatever, so there's a lot of debris flying around. So what you saw earlier was that kind of stuff. Here I'm cleaning up the monitor. So you can see with time, this whole section could become super tight. We could paint in the weapon, the gun, all that kind of stuff, get it all in there. So here I'm just kind of indicating some of that, some of the cables, the keyboard. But the main thing is to light up that little section so the player could see that table and perhaps could use it to do stuff with. Color balance, to show students that you can mess around with the colors. Once you have the value set, you could kind of do all sorts of stuff to it. So on off, we cooled it down a little bit with this. So I put it to about 50%. So add a little bit of cooler lighting. So further back, it adds a little bit of blue palette. And what I mean by that is, so for example here with the overlay layer, I put a slight blue over the whole thing. Is if you look at a photograph and really zoom in and sample the pixels, typically even for something that say is orange or yellow in a photograph, if you zoom in enough, you can see that within the pixels itself, there's all sorts of different colors in it. And if this object was say 100 feet from you or whatever, it's going to catch a little bit of atmosphere within it. So even though it looks yellow, within that yellow palette is some blue or some haze. Okay, so we're doing that same thing here, mixing the palette a little bit so it's not pure. Signing the name. And this painting is pretty much done to this stage. Check our values a little bit. Here I'm just showing students all the layers turned off so you can see it as well. So we started with this line drawing, turn them all on, put them all back on, boom, boom, boom. Super quick. And not too bad of a result. Here's a line drawing off. So you can see this painting already sort of works without any kind of line drawing. It's got a very video game kind of lighting scenario. So back to that value mixing. So yeah, we added that blue haze at just 10% over the entire painting to add a little bit of pixels into these orange and yellows. So if you zoom in into this painting on the yellow stage, on the yellow section, it's not going to be pure. It's going to have other materials in it. So here, these are my textures references. I put one in here, which is kind of like just a noise. So it's just noise texture. And then I'm going to copy that noise texture onto this painting here, just to give the painting further some teeth. So I'll clone that, cover the entire canvas with it. All right, get rid of all the seam lines. Here I am. And then just put down overlay, turn to black and white, put it on about 10%, 80%. It's hard to see in YouTube video, but in the real painting, it adds a little bit of teeth, kind of like a canvas will have. And that's about it. Here's without line drawing. You can see this painting already holds up without line. With or without, both works. So, thanks for watching this video. And next week, maybe we'll go back and do some character related work or something a little bit different from environments. So again, subscribe to our YouTube video and or YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys next week. All right, bye-bye.